everybody. John Wright with Hardin County Schools. We're hanging out today in Julie Powers' preschool classroom at North Park Elementary School. And so we're going to spend our HCS Matters time today talking about preschool and the importance of preschool. Ms. Powers is a wonderful preschool teacher, as all of our preschool teachers are. And she has a fantastic team of assistants that help her, and also assistants, little assistants in her classroom. So we're going to hang out today in her class. We're going to see how powerful preschool is and how it can really lay that solid foundation of instructional learning all the way through college and post-college of how important preschool is. So what you'll see today in our first part of HCS Matters is just really Ms. Powers and her team teaching and learning. And then by halfway through, we'll switch to Carlina Sharon, our director of preschool, or director of elementary ed. So let's hang out with Ms. Powers right now.
Elbow, F for fan. G for gallon. H for hot. Make the sound. I for E. J for what does J say? K for Q. What? L for mom. We sing and learn the letters of our alphabet and the sounds that they make because, does anybody remember why? Does anybody remember what we do with the letters? Somebody said before we put them together and we're going to make what? Does anybody remember what we make with the sounds and the letters?
We sing.
We make what? It's okay.
I said sing.
We sing them because we sing the words. We put words together. That's why we learn our letters and our sounds. Okay, today we are going to start talking about your senses. We have 5 senses. Senses are things that we use to help us know what's around us. So look at Miss Julie. We're going to use that poster, I promise. But look at me first. Look. Look at me. Okay. The senses help us know how we know our environment. So our 5 senses, we talked about it just a little bit yesterday. Put your thinking caps on and see if you can remember what we talked about yesterday. We're going to do an activity together. Okay, ready? Okay, hands in your lap. Thinking caps are on. Good. Okay. Our senses, we have 5 of them. Can somebody raise a quiet hand and remember what one of our senses is? Jack, can you remember what one of our senses is?
I know.
Okay, so we use our nose to do what?
Smell.
Okay, Jackson's turn, thanks. We use our nose to smell. Good, smell is one of our senses. Bella, what's another one? Okay, thank you. Bella said 2 things. She said you use your eyes to see and you use your fingers to touch. Hey, can you use your toes to touch?
Yeah.
Yes, you can. Hey, Bryn, will you please sit down because Jackson can't see? Okay. All right, let me see. Carly, what else? You can use your tongue or your mouth to eat or to, the sense is called taste. Say taste. Taste, good. Okay. Brinley, we have another one?
Yeah.
What? Brinley. What else?
You use your ear to listen.
You use your ears to listen or to hear. Very good. All right. So we're going to do an activity today. All right. And I think that we have enough for 10 people to get a turn today. We have enough for 10. So maybe not everybody's going to get a turn today, but we're going to try to get 10 people to have a turn. Here's what I have in my basket. I have pictures. Okay, I'll show them to you, okay? Look, I have pictures. Rainbow. Rainbow. This is music. Okay, so music. That's representing music. This is can you see what these are? Clouds. Okay. This is a fire truck. Yeah, okay. What does the fire truck do? It squirts fire out. Does it make a sound? Yeah. Make the sound that the fire, yeah. Yeah, good. That's called a siren. All right, good. This is a what? Whoop. This is a what? Sun. Oh, here's Miss Julie's favorite. What's this? Ice cream. Okay, here's another good one. This is a apple. Oh, flower. Bell. Okay, ring. Yep. Okay. I like Taco Bell. That's right. Okay. All right. How about this? I do have a bell. What is this? A skunk. It always looks like a badger. It is a skunk, and when skunks get scared, they spray a smell that is whoo-wee. So what sense would you use? What sense would you use to know a skunk, Carly? No. It might smell like that. What sense would you use, Liberty, to know a skunk? Smell. That's right, because if they're scared. All right, let's move on, because I want to make sure everybody gets a turn. What's this? Play-Doh. Play-Doh? You have a picture of Play-Doh? Okay. And we have Play-Doh at school. What's this? A pie. Okay. It was apple pie. Sometimes we have apple pie at school. How about this? Yeah, yummy snack. Good. Okay. How about this? Dog. All right. Does anybody know what this is? Sand. Where do we find sand? At the sandbox on the playground? At the beach? You thought it was a blanket. Yeah, you have to look really closely. You felt it on the beach. At Florida, when she was at Florida. Okay, here's how this is going to work, guys. I'm mixing them all up. Okay, and here's what we're going to do. You cannot peek. Okay, you have to close your eyes, and you're going to pick one. All right, let's pretend that it's Miss Julie's turn. Okay, let's pretend it's my turn. So I pull out, and I say, this is a dog. So I name the dog. So I say dog. What sense would I use to know a dog? Well, dogs bark. Woof, woof, woof. Make the dog sound. Woof, 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 woof. Okay. So I come over here to our... thanks, Ethan. All right, ready? So I come over here to our 5 senses. This is a hand. I keep turning the smartboard on. It's going to happen, guys. All right, so listen. And we have the 5 senses. This says see, hear, touch, taste, and smell. So Miss Julie thinks that we use...
To touch.
Oh, Carly says touch. I did get it because you would pet the dog. But I said, oh, the dog makes the barking sound, so I'm going to listen or hear the dog, and I'm going to put it right there. All right? So whenever it's your turn, you're going to think about what sense you use to know the animal. Got it? Give me a thumbs up if you get that. Okay. I will if we get another. Okay. All right, hands in your lap. Whoops, Miss Julie just, that was pretty. I got stuck with my phone. Okay. All right. Oh, I'm wearing a microphone on my cardigan. Oh, I think I'm going to start the music. Just kidding, guys. I know, for the Target commercial. All right, let's try this. Hey, guys, really quickly. Bella asked what this was on my cardigan sweater. It's a microphone. Okay? All right. Your hands are full. Miss Courtney, would you mind pulling kids' names from this stick so that we can tell whose turn it is? Hey, so we're going to pull your name from the stick, and you have to be ready to learn to get a turn. Right. You have to be ready to learn to get a turn. Maybe next time. All right, ready? Who's our first friend? Aiden Milby. Aiden, come here. Yeah, one friend. Okay. Pick a picture. Okay. He found a rainbow. Aiden, you see the rainbow. He's closing his eyes. Good. This says see. Good job. Ta-da! All right, let's give him a round of applause super quick. We're gonna do rounds of applause today. Thank you, thank you, thank you. All right, Miss Courtney, who's our next friend? Zane. It's your turn. Are you ready to learn to get a turn? Close your eyes. Don't you peek, don't you peek. Okay. Sun. So, what sense would you use to know the sun?
Bright.
It's bright. So, what would you use, your eyes or would you use your mouth to know the sun? Eyes. So we're gonna have C. All right? This is the place for C. Good, yep. Good, all right. Thank you, Zane. Can we give Zane a round of applause? Yes, thank you. All right, who's our next friend? Ethan.
If you get the dog.
If somebody else gets touch, I'll get the dog off, sure will. Hey, are you peeking? He got a what? Ethan, okay, Ethan, tell us what that's called.
A fire.
Fire truck. So what sense do you use to know the fire truck?
To put fires out.
It does put fires out. Hey, do you when the siren makes a noise, what sense do you use? Do you touch it or do you hear it?
I normally just hear the siren.
You hear the siren. So look, you're going to use hear. All right. Did you know that Miss Julie put that dog on the wrong one? Oh no, you said here for yeah. All right, ready? Give him a round of applause, please. Thank you, thank you, thank you. You can take a bow or a curtsy. He's gonna take a bow. Thank you, sir. Who's our next friend, Miss Courtney? Carly. All right. Okay, don't you peek, don't you peek. All right. Flower. So what sense do you use? Smell. This says smell. All right. Oh, you got to match that Velcro up. There you go. All right, let's give her a round of applause. And she's taking a curtsy. All right, and a bow. Ooh, she's super proud today. Who's our next friend? Kylie. All right. Don't you peek. There you go. All right. What did you get? Tell your friends. She got popcorn. What sense do you use?
Smell.
Smell. Good. So, okay, we're going to move the flower. I think Miss Julie needs to put some more Velcro over there, huh? All right. Can we give her a round of applause? Bow or curtsy. She's taking a curtsy and a bow. My goodness, we're super proud today. All right. Who's our next friend? Jackson. Okay. Ready? Don't you peek. All right, pick one. All right, what you got? Music. What sense do you use?
Your nose.
Your nose for music? You smell music?
Yeah.
What do you do with music? Huh? Do you listen to music?
You can see it.
You can see it. He says you can see music. Where do you see music?
You can use it. You can use it. I can see it. With your eyes.
You see music with your eyes? Right here, I guess you do. You know what?
Hey.
Jackson sees musical notes and he sees them with his eyes. Good. All right, thank you, sir.
That's okay.
I know. He had to take mine off too. All right, let's give him a round of applause super quick. All right. Would you like to take a bow or a curtsy? He's taking a bow. All right, who's our next friend? Isabella. All right. All right. What did you get? Those are clouds. So what sense do you use? Hey, friends, help her out. She might need some help, so pay attention. Okay, what sense would you use to know the clouds? Okay, so that's your sight. You see clouds. Ready? We're going to move this. Okay, yes, and here's what says see. Good.
So we spent some time in Julie Powers' classroom here at North Park Elementary. Now we're talking with Carlina Sharon, the Director of Early Childhood Education for Hardin County Schools. And Ms. Sharon, what we saw in Ms. Powers' classroom, we saw a lot of fun. They were talking about senses. So she would, had picture of a skunk, and then they had to pick which sense. And some people said, well, I know it's a skunk because I see it, and I know it's a skunk because I smell it. But they had the option to choose. But anyway, it was just fun hanging out in there, and that's what learning in preschool is: learning through fun. Talk about that.
Every single day. I think our teachers do an absolutely fabulous job of realizing that they are 3- and 4-year-old children, and they need hands-on, and their attention spans are not super long, so our lessons are short, then movement, then short, then movement, and we all learn better when we can lay our hands into it and we can do it for ourselves. And they do an excellent job of that. They are really good at developmentally appropriate instruction.
We've done lots of interviews with you, lots of conversations, but we always talk about, and it's so true, just reiterate the importance of this foundational learning that preschool gives.
Absolutely. I mean, the things you learn from birth to 5 are huge. And the way the brain works, the amount of growth the brain makes from birth to 5 doesn't equal anything else in your lifetime. So that age is such an important category. And we have 3- and 4-year-olds in our program, and it's huge the amount of growth that they make coming in. People who don't work in preschool might look at them and be like, oh, they're so little, but it is amazing how much growth that they make. And we are finding that children who are in preschool are starting kindergarten more ready. They're starting kindergarten more ready in a lot of ways, not just on the Brigance assessment that we give every kindergartner, but on knowing their school and being comfortable in their school, knowing their administration already, knowing how to ride a bus, knowing what drills are like, knowing how to, come to the carpet and go back to the table. They're learning so many skills that make them so prepared for kindergarten.
Ms. Powers was using words like literacy, phonemic awareness, and they knew exactly what she was talking about. We're taping this in November, and so they've been in school for 3 months, and they know those terms. But you're right, reiterate that, Carlina. It's just, even though they're small, their minds are so sharp and so thirsty for knowledge.
Yeah, they are. They're huge, and you have to take advantage of it when they're at that age, because the brain is like 90% complete, like by the time you're 5. So it's such a critical area to be able to teach them where they're just absorbing everything. And I would say anybody who thinks that 3- and 4-year-olds cannot learn to those high levels, I would take them in Julie Powers' class every single day, because they think pair share as partners. They learn to ask questions. They learn to self-advocate for themselves. They are learning literacy and math and how to get along, and they're doing it every single day, inside and outside, and doing it in a hands-on, fun kind of way.
Right, you're right. The brain never stops learning, but yet it's so. Mrs. Morgan asked me to share last night on our social media video. It was a comparison video of a parent just on their phone all the time and a parent working with their child, and it was like they were building blocks. The child with the parent working on the phone, he was just barely putting blocks together, but the parent that was involved with their child, they had built this great big structure. So just talk about how we can always be teaching our children, whether it be driving down the street, whether it be just in conversations, how important those times are with our kids.
Absolutely. And I think that's so true. And, we have parents, such great parents in our district. And, we all get busy and we all let time get away from us. But, I would say for young children, put a time limit on how long they can be on a device. Because what you are teaching them by having conversations with them, by asking them questions, by guiding them in the right direction is so much more powerful. And just like when you're cooking, when you're making a recipe in the kitchen, having your 3- 4-year-old in there next to you, where you're talking about how many of this you need and how many of that, and can you get me a cup of, and does this cup look bigger than a half a cup? It's huge. It's like doing laundry. I mean, they can be amazingly quick at, you find the 2 blue socks, you find the 2 red ones. So not only are they helping you, but but they are also learning, these two make a pair, these are the same color, this is not the same color, and it's fun. It's enjoyable, and you're prepping them to be more successful when they start school, which makes them be more independent, and it just sets them up for success. It's just huge.
You've done this a day or two, so you've seen you've seen that success. You've seen students start in preschool and now probably in college or in post. Where would some of those students be? And this may be a bad way to phrase this question, but just talk about the success that was created in preschool that laid that foundation for them.
Well, and I do keep up with a lot of those children, and I would say they're successful in so many different areas. They're successful in 9-to-5 jobs. They're successful in creative jobs. They're playing on D1 football teams. They're playing on basketball teams. They're coming back and helping their community. We do go in and look at our preschoolers and how they do on the first time they take like the third grade assessment, and we find a lot of success in that. There are a lot of children that are doing very, very well, and I think so much of that is because you've had a good start. And parents certainly can give kids that start at school, at home. But I think that coupled with preschool a few days a week just makes them even more ready for everything that's thrown at them when they start school.
So socialization may be the biggest piece of that.
It is. It's huge. And there's what I always say about preschool is apply right this moment, because there are so few experiences. Speaking as a parent, when my children were birthed to 5. There were so few opportunities to take them somewhere that someone could do like a little evaluation and kind of tell me they're doing great in this area, we might want to work on this area, we think we could help in this area. And that's something the preschool evaluation does for them. And that is huge. So I think, applying for preschool and being able to, and we try every way in the world to provide numerous opportunities for children to come to preschool, because the socialization is awesome. I mean, just working every day and making friends and having a little group that you meet with in small group and large group and you learn to get along with. And some of these kids that they're meeting now are kids that they'll go to middle school with and high school with, and they'll be friends forever. And to me that is awesome that they have that opportunity for that socialization.
Right. Somebody outside of the unit of the family that you're right, to make friendships and relationships with.
Yes. And that's what you want for your child.
Absolutely.
You want your child to make friends when they're very young, and want your child to be able to, learn as much as they possibly can and be able to start building these relationships. And, when I just look at our preschool, and I know this is true of, I hope it's true of lots of preschool programs, but, we are a high quality program. I mean, if you just look at our Facebook page, you see how many opportunities our students have to go to places they haven't been. I mean, if you just look at the field trips we've taken, they're huge. So not only are we giving experiences inside the classroom, we give experiences outside the classroom. We come back and reflect and talk about it. We play on the playground every single day. I mean, learning is happening at all times, but a lot of times they don't even know they're learning. They're just having fun.
Yeah.
They just love it and they enjoy it. And I can't say enough about, the 33 preschool teachers we have and their teams, because they are fabulous. I mean, I would put them up against anybody in the United States. They are such good early childhood educators.
I noticed every student in Julie's classroom, and it's like this across the district, every student in Julie's classroom was participatory. I mean, they were engaged in learning. They had just come off lunch, so as an adult, when I come off lunch, I'm not probably very participatory, but they were. I mean, they were engaged in learning, the whole time they were in that classroom.
Right. And I would say that, we've all said at some point in our life, I would like to bottle that energy and have it, and that is true of 3- and 4-year-old children. But I think that we keep things moving so much that they love it. When it's funny, if you ever go into a preschool classroom where we're going to be gone for a few days, like come back on Tuesday before Thanksgiving. Yeah. When a teacher will say, now we're not going to be in school for Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, you kind of hear a collective, because they do love their school. They love their school. They love their teacher. They love learning.
You talked about applying. Applying for preschool is not just something that should happen in July and August, but before school starts. We're taping this on November the 12th, 13th. you can apply today and be in school soon.
Yes,
right?
absolutely. And I would encourage every single one of you to apply. Even if you are thinking to yourself, I don't know if we'd get in, apply. It does not take much of their time. We've made it as simple as possible. You can actually apply from your recliner and your computer, and you don't even have to move. And the application will come to you, and it'll come to us, and then we move from there. We've tried to make it as simple as possible, but we have children start preschool all year long. It would not be unusual to have 15 students start school every week, every other week, the entire year. So if you feel like, oh, we didn't start in August, we can't start, absolutely not. What we always say in the office is a week of preschool is better than no preschool. Absolutely. So apply today and let's see if we can get your child started, because we have fun every day, we learn every day. They are taken care of and taught by the best people in the state, in the United States, and we have a great school system that provides them with every opportunity possible to make learning fun and enjoyable.
So after application, what's next? A screening process, right?
Yeah, next is the screening process, and we've even worked out the screening process where some of that you can do at home and some of that we do in person. Okay. And then we kind of, from there individually, it kind of determines where we can go. But I work for a district who is understands that early childhood education is one of the most important things we've got going on, and that if we want kids to be successful, we start when they're young. So they have provided us with opportunities to provide more than what the state gives us in opportunities for kids to come to school. So while we don't have an opportunity for every single child, we have lots more than what we were afforded originally. So we try our best to get everybody in that we possibly can, because we see it makes such a difference in their kindergarten, first, middle school, high school experience.
I'm gonna get maybe just a tad bit political, but I would encourage everyone to advocate for free and public preschool, because it makes such a difference.
Absolutely. I am very much a wholehearted believer that we need universal preschool for all 4-year-olds in this state. I think it can look differently, and they can be in different settings, and we can all come together, childcare, public preschool, Head Start, and we can provide a wonderful preschool experience for them. But that's what our families deserve, and most importantly, that's what our children deserve.
Talk about, you touched on a little bit on it, our administration, our board, and our superintendent, Mrs. Morgan. We've been so lucky in the 14 years I've been here, the time you've been here, we've had superintendents and boards who believe passionately in what goes on in facilities like North Park and all across this district.
They absolutely do. I've been so fortunate, and I know it every single day, but I realize it every single time I go outside of Hardin County. I was under the direction of Nanette Johnston, who totally understood early childhood, and I would say that Teresa Morgan is exactly the same. Our board is totally understands early childhood, and there are people I think that realize early childhood is important. They don't have the patience for letting things take its course to see. So they want to put money into remediation, when really what will help children and what will help our families and help people be successful is putting money into early childhood, so more children have the opportunity to go to school early and learn when their brain is at prime capacity to learn, and they're excited about learning and they're ready to go to school, and it just builds such an important experience. And I think that preschool, much like kindergarten, the family component is huge. So we build such good relationships with our families, and our families, by all means, are such an important part of preschool being successful, because what we're doing in school matches what they're doing at home, and then you have what you want for your child when you have a child to be as successful as possible.
Absolutely. There is no better advocate for preschool, not only in this district, but probably in the Commonwealth of Kentucky, than Carlina Sharon. It's been great talking with her. To apply for preschool, to find the application, go to the Hardin County Schools website, hardin.kyschools.us. It's there in the quick link section. It's there in the early childhood department, education. You can find that. If not, call 270-769-8911. 270-769-8911, and they'll point you to where you need to be. Hardin County Schools Preschool is a great place to be. Learn more about it, go to our website. Thanks for hanging out with us for this edition of HCS Matters.